They've risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. And to my right is the current reigning and defending Scholars of Wrestling Show champion, Scholar Tarek. Is that finally good? Does that finally meet your needs, sir?
It definitely does. Thank you, and welcome, everyone. It's Elimination Chamber weekend, and we got a lot of predicting to do.
Yes, isn't that right, Scholar Brian, who I hope will help me in unseating this guy?
Definitely. However, I know that he's not a fighting champion, and we won't be doing it until WrestleMania.
Oh, hot takes.
So, okay, keep that belt warm for me, Scholar Tarek.
Something tells me you were right the first time.
But it's Elimination Chamber weekend, and I could not be any less interested in this pay-per-view at all. They have not sold me on it, so I'm going into this really not caring how bad I do on predictions this week. Mostly because I know that it's Elimination Chamber. I got a perfect card last year. I got a perfect card the year before that. I'm going to get a perfect card again.
You got a perfect cardigan too? I've got a great cardigan.
Yes.
And speaking of great cardigans, we've got a great night of match.
That's the sound of someone who really wants to be a champion. Someone who just does not care. Well, you may not care, but I care. It may not be the best pay-per-view. It may be the worst. But you know what? I'm still going to go in this all full of high hopes because that's what a fighting champion does.
A fighting champion that isn't defending, so I don't believe anything that you say right now. So, bully to you.
Be professional, sir.
No.
Be professional.
No. Professionals defend their titles, and you're not, so I don't care.
Okay, in the midst of all these hot takes, we still have what can be considered to be a compelling day in wrestling coming up with this year's 2018 Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, including some very big firsts coming our way, but we'll break down all of that. But first, we need to kick things off the right way on the Scholars of Wrestling Show with a little segment we like to call Backstage News.
Indeed, we should go ahead and peek behind that curtain and check in on a little
Backstage News. Chamber News.
No,
I'm sorry, what was that? I'm sorry. I didn't really catch that.
Was that a moo or a meh?
It was
a little bit of both.
It was just Scholar Brian noise.
And that's a minute and 30 seconds?
That's a minute and 30 seconds you will never get back.
Oh, this is going to be a good one already, I can tell. But speaking of it being a good one, let's talk about the big swerve from this week in wrestling. And of course, I'm talking about the news that, of all people, Jeff Jarrett is officially announced for going into the WWE Hall of Fame. What do you guys make of this?
Did you predict this one, champ?
I didn't need to predict this one. It's not anything to do with predicting.
Did you think that this was coming?
I thought this was never going to happen.
Exactly. I actually agree with you. This was the last person on my mind to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. But, okay, whether people like him or not, okay, it's about 50-50 on the scale. We know a few people who hate his guts. But you can't deny at least what he did when he first opened TNA. Okay, he got AJ Styles and Samoa Joe their first big time exposure. Okay, when they were doing those weekly pay-per-views, and when TNA was actually good. You know who was running it? This guy. Okay, Jeff. He was the first one to lose a title to a woman. Okay, he
China.
lost the...
I know what you meant. I was
You looked confused.
I was not disputing that fact. Well, actually, I was disputing that fact. I knew he lost it to China. I wasn't sure if that had happened before. Like that was the first.
I believe
intergender
that was
change.
the first. I believe that was the first one.
At least possibly in the WWF, but
Well, yeah.
okay,
The
that's what I was
first-
thinking. I was like, wait, is that true?
The first mainstream intergender title
Okay.
change. And so he's a part of history that way. He went to WCW and killed it, but him and Vince Russo both. But you know what? Whether you like him or not, he did do a lot for the business.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I guess whether we thought about it or not, he deserves a spot.
I'm going to come right out and say this right now. I had a feeling that it was going to happen eventually, given his contributions to both wrestling as an in-ring performer and just as a promoter and just a general wrestling personality in general. However, it did come as a surprise to me that it happened so soon. I mean, given the WWE's recent penchant for revisionist history and wanting to own, trying to make the Hall of Fame legit and own pretty much modern mainstream pro wrestling, both current and historical, I kind of figured that Jeff Jarrett going into the Hall of Fame was going to happen eventually, just like I'm completely confident that China will go in eventually. But I'm honestly surprised it's happening when Vince McMahon is still alive, to be very frank with you. I could have sworn China was going to go in first.
It's actually really funny you say that, because from what I've been reading about this, the reasons he's getting inducted is this is all Triple H's going. This is Triple H's call. And from what I've been reading, it's because he, with all this planning for the future for when he starts taking over, Triple H wants to start cross-promoting. And he wants Jeff Jarrett because, as we talked about how he is a great promoter, he's done that with Impact. He's done that with TNA, so he wants to have the best of the best do this.
And say what you want about Jeff Jarrett as a person, he knows what he's doing.
He does.
As a promoter. He, as I said, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, where did they first get their mainstream national exposure? TNA was bought in by Jeff Jarrett. Okay, yeah, you can say that they started in ROH and all that, but mainstream TV or weekly pay-per-view, okay, their first big-time exposure was TNA. Bought in by Jeff Jarrett. And they main evented those weekly pay-per-views, and they put on amazing shows, and that's when people started to take notice. Put it down. And who set that up? Yeah, he gave himself the title like 5-6 times. Okay, but he also got those guys over.
He did.
So the dude knows what he's doing, and
that's why Triple H is so interested in him.
And that's why he's putting him in the Hall of Fame, because Triple H doesn't.
He sees the bigger picture.
He doesn't hold grudges like Vince McMahon does, and he does what's best for business.
Now the big question is, speculation has been happening non-stop since this announcement is happening, but now let's put our bets right now. Who inducts him into the Hall of Fame?
Oh God,
Deborah.
No joke. I thought someone was going to say that, but I don't think
that's really just a joke, because there's no chance of that happening.
No chance Deborah is going to want to come back.
This is one where I actually have no idea.
I'm not going to lie. I was actually thinking about this, and the only real legit person who I could see inducting him is AJ Styles.
I thought of that too.
Didn't especially with what the video that came out today of AJ Styles loving the fact that Jeff Jarrett is getting inducted. It's like he's the AJ Styles for all that Jeff Jarrett did for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it does make sense. You could do Jeff Jarrett, you could do Samoa Joe, you could do basically those two, and if you're doing another name, okay, he's the one who actually said put him in. I can see Triple H doing it.
It could be another one.
Yeah, if no one else wants to do it or can't.
But it most likely, I think it's going to be AJ Styles.
Anything else really to say about this?
I got nothing.
Double J?
I just hope they talk more about his time in the Attitude Era and WCW.
I can't wait to hear what he has to say speech-wise.
I want to hear some stories.
I want to hear. I just want to see him hit someone with a chair.
Guitar,
man.
Guitar man. Wow.
He becomes a manager for
day.
Elias.
It's so crazy. It would be awesome.
It's not going to happen.
A spot at WrestleMania where they both hit dudes with guitars. That would happen.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. There you go.
All right, so
make it happen, WWE. Give us a WrestleMania moment. Why not?
Elias hits John Cena with the guitar, and Jeff Jarrett. Someone comes out.
They're not going to have John Cena get hit with a guitar at WrestleMania.
You never know.
They're not going to. Come on.
Well, yeah, John Cena's going to beat Elias, but you don't need to.
Well, either way, I'm excited to see what Jeff Jarrett's going to do at WrestleMania in 2018. That's going to be fun.
I still have his Attitude Era theme song in my head.
I still love that song.
And then him twirling Deborah.
Why am I envisioning that's his entrance from No Mercy?
That's what I'm thinking too.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway,
we're dumb.
Anyway, congratulations to Jeff Jarrett. The only request I have is make WrestleMania weekend fun.
Don't piss me off.
Well, don't. No. Piss someone else in the office off. That'll make for some great television. But anyway, speaking of great television, or something we hope will be great television.
He doesn't think so.
Well, let's break down exactly why, with coverage of 2018's WWE Elimination Chamber. Starting with the very first match on the pre-show, we've got...
That was announced today.
Just today as of the day of this recording.
Exactly.
No, wait. Remember my Scholars Quick Talk that I posted earlier this week? If you had the chance to add more matches to the card, 2 out of the 3 matches that I predicted are on this card.
Right, well,
how's that for predicting, Brian?
Well,
that's
let's
pretty
get
damn good predicting.
Why don't we get down to the actual predictions themselves, starting with the pre-show match of the Club going against the Miz Taraj. Gentlemen, what do you got?
I hope they had more. They'll give a little story on why they're throwing this match together, like how I posted. It'll just be, excuse me, the Club's response to the Miz Taraj interfering with the Gauntlet match. Hence, the Gauntlet match was awesome.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to do any raw rundown or anything.
That was a treat. That was an absolute treat.
It should just Monday Night Gauntlet. That's what this past Monday was.
It was so much fun. I loved it.
It was awesome. But when it comes to the predictions, I'm going to go with the Club on this one. It's just them getting retribution for their involvement with the Gauntlet match. Will I be surprised if the Miz Taraj wins? No. It's really a 50-50 booking in my view. Like the only real way I could see the Miz Taraj really winning is if the Revival gets involved, since they're the ones who kind of are having a little rivalry with the Club.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm gonna probably take this at face value here and just say the Club goes over, just because they've been looking so strong since